Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. God has a plan for your life. And I know sometimes it feels like nothing is working out, like every door you knock on stays shut. But listen to me. If the door didn't open, that means it wasn't your door. Stop stressing about the ones that closed, because when God is ready, He will open the right one and no one can shut it. Stay ready. Prepare for the blessing before it arrives. One of the biggest mistakes people make in life is praying for opportunities they're not prepared to handle. See, everybody wants success, but not everybody wants to put in the work before it comes. That's why so many people miss out on the blessings God has for them. They spend so much time worrying about when the door will open that they forget to get ready for it. But let me tell you something. When God decides it's time for you to step into your blessing, there won't be any time to prepare. You have to be ready before it happens. Think about it like this. If someone handed you the keys to a mansion today, could you afford to maintain it? If you got the dream job tomorrow, would you have the skills to keep it? See, we love to ask God for more, but we don't always do our part to be ready for it. And God is not going to bless you with something that will break you. That's why preparation is so important. You can't sit around doing nothing and expect things to magically fall into place. Faith without action is dead. You have to show God that you're serious about what you're asking for. Look at any successful person and you'll see that their breakthrough didn't happen overnight. They were working behind the scenes, getting better, staying disciplined, sharpening their skills long before the opportunity came. When the door finally opened, they were ready to walk through it without hesitation. That's the mindset you need to have. You don't wait until the opportunity comes to start preparing. You prepare so that when it comes, you can seize it. Let me give you a real example. Take an athlete training for the Olympics. They don't start working hard after they qualify. No, they train for years, pushing their bodies and minds, preparing for a moment that hasn't even arrived yet. They have no guarantee that they'll win a gold medal, but they train like it's already theirs. That's the level of preparation you need in your life. You have to act like the blessing is already on its way, because when God sees you putting in the effort, He knows you're ready for what's coming. Too many people sit around complaining that life isn't fair, that their time hasn't come yet, that they're still waiting for a breakthrough. But let me ask you, what are you doing while you wait? Are you improving yourself? Are you learning new skills? Are you staying disciplined? Or are you just hoping things will magically change? See, God doesn't operate on luck. He operates on preparation. He blesses those who have the faith to keep working even when they don't see results yet. So, if you're asking for something big, make sure you're preparing for something big. Because when God finally opens that door, there won't be time to get ready. You'll have to be ready. Faith over fear. Trust that God is working behind the scenes. Fear is one of the biggest obstacles to receiving what God has for you. It keeps you stuck, second-guessing yourself, wondering if things will ever change. But faith and fear cannot exist in the same space. You have to choose one. See, God never promised that life would be easy, but He did promise that He would never leave you. When you truly believe that, fear loses its power over you. The problem is, too many people let fear control their decision. They're afraid to take risks, afraid to step out of their comfort zone, afraid of failure. But what if I told you that the very thing you're afraid of is the thing that will lead you to your breakthrough? When God has a plan for your life, He doesn't need your approval. He just needs your trust. He needs you to believe even when things don't make sense. See, faith is not about seeing, it's about knowing. It's about trusting that God is working behind the scenes, even when you don't see the results yet. You ever plant a seed? You don't see it sprout overnight, but that doesn't mean nothing is happening. Beneath the surface, that seed is growing roots, getting stronger, preparing to break through the soil. That's how faith works. Just because you don't see the blessing right away doesn't mean God isn't setting things up for you. The enemy wants you to focus on what's not happening. He wants you to feel stuck, to feel like you're running out of time, but God doesn't operate on human timing. What looks like a delay to you is actually divine preparation. He's making sure you're strong enough, wise enough, and ready enough to handle what's coming. If you let fear dictate your life, you'll miss out on what's meant for you. But if you choose faith, you'll start seeing doors open that you never expected. Delays are not denials. God's timing is always perfect. One of the hardest things to accept in life is that sometimes, no matter how hard you try, things don't happen when you want them to. You pray, you work, you wait, and still nothing seems to change. But let me tell you something. Just because something is delayed doesn't mean it's denied. God's timing is not your timing, and His ways are higher than your ways. What you see as a setback is often a setup for something greater. Look back at your life. How many times have you wanted something so badly only to realize later that it wouldn't have been good for you? That job you didn't get, that relationship that didn't work out, that opportunity that slipped away. It all happened for a reason. God knows what He's doing. He's not punishing you, He's protecting you. He's making sure you don't settle for less than what He has planned for you. The waiting season is not a wasted season. It's a time of growth, of learning, of strengthening your faith. Instead of getting frustrated, ask yourself, what is God trying to teach me? Maybe He's preparing you for something bigger. Maybe He's waiting for the right people to come into your life. Maybe He's strengthening your character so you can handle what's ahead. Whatever the reason, trust that His timing is perfect. When the right door opens, you'll understand why everything had to happen the way it did. Faith is the foundation of everything when it comes to trusting God's plan. Too often people let fear take control of their minds, worrying about the future, stressing over things they can't change, and doubting whether God is really working in their lives. But faith requires trust. It means believing that even when things look uncertain, God is still in control. See, God doesn't need you to figure everything out. He just needs you to believe that He already has. When you start trusting that God is handling things behind the scenes, you start worrying about when and how things will happen. You start walking in confidence, knowing that every delay, every detour, and every challenge is just part of the process. The moment you shift from fear to faith, you begin to see doors open in ways you never expected. A lot of people get discouraged when things don't happen right away. They pray, they work hard, they wait, and yet nothing seems to change. But just because something isn't happening now doesn't mean it won't happen at the right time. God doesn't work on human schedules. What seems like a delay is often God's way of making sure you're truly ready. Think about this. If you plant a seed today, you don't expect fruit tomorrow. There's a process. Roots need to grow. The plant needs to develop. And only when it's strong enough does it bear fruit. That's exactly how life works. God is not denying you your blessing. He's preparing you for it. If you receive something too soon, before you're ready, it can slip right through your hands. But when you trust His timing, you'll see that everything unfolds exactly when it's supposed to. Many times, people get frustrated when doors close. They feel rejected, disappointed, or stuck, because they were expecting something to work out. But what if I told you that closed doors are actually a form of protection? Not every opportunity is meant for you, and not every path is the right one. Sometimes God blocks things because He sees what you can't. He knows that if you walk through the wrong door, it could lead to struggles, setbacks, or unnecessary pain. Think about all the times in life when you wanted something so badly, only to later realize it wouldn't have been good for you. That's not a coincidence. That's divine protection. When you understand that God closes certain doors for your benefit, you stop feeling frustrated when things don't go as planned. You start trusting that if something didn't work out, it wasn't meant for you. Instead of dwelling on rejection, you shift your focus to what's ahead. When one door closes, it just means a better one is about to open. The key is to keep moving forward, staying prepared, and trusting that God's plan is always greater than anything you could imagine. What's meant for you will never pass you by, and when the right opportunity comes, you'll know it was worth the wait. Faith is what separates those who live in worry from those who walk in confidence. Too many people spend their lives stressing over what they can't control, wondering if things will ever work out for them. But when you truly believe that God is in control, you stop letting fear run your life. Faith means trusting that even when you don't see things changing, God is working behind the scenes. He doesn't need you to figure everything out. He just needs you to believe that He already has. When you walk in faith, you no longer feel the need to chase after opportunities or force things to happen. You understand that what's meant for you will come at the right time, in the right way, according to God's perfect plan. One of the hardest lessons to learn is that delays are not denials. Sometimes you pray for something, and instead of getting an answer right away, you find yourself waiting. That's when doubt creeps in. You start wondering if God even heard you, if He cares, or if you're just wasting your time. But just because something isn't happening now doesn't mean it won't happen later. God's timing is different from ours, and He sees things from a higher perspective. What feels like a delay is often a period of preparation. Think about a seed planted in the ground. It doesn't sprout overnight, but that doesn't mean nothing is happening. Underneath the soil, roots are growing, the foundation is being set, and when the time is right, the plant breaks through. That's how life works. When God is preparing you for something greater, He takes His time because He wants you to be strong enough to handle it when it comes. Sometimes what we see as rejection is actually God's protection. People get so discouraged when doors close. They feel like they've failed or like they're being left behind. But not every opportunity is the right one, and not every door is meant for you to walk through. God sees what's ahead, and He knows what's best for you. Imagine if every door you knocked on opened. You'd end up in places you were never supposed to be, dealing with things you were never meant to experience. That's why some doors stay shut, because God is keeping you from something that could hurt you or delay your destiny. Instead of getting frustrated, you have to trust that a closed door is just redirecting you to something better. What's meant for you will never pass you by. The key to receiving God's blessings is staying ready. Too many people ask for opportunities, but when they come, they're not prepared. You don't wait until the blessing arrives to start getting ready. You prepare in advance so that when the door opens, you can walk through it without hesitation. Athletes don't start training when they get called for a big competition. They train every single day so that when their moment comes, they're ready. The same goes for life. If you believe that God has something great in store for you, you need to act like it now. Work on your skills, improve yourself, Stay disciplined and be patient. When the time is right, the opportunity will come, and because you were prepared, you'll be able to step into your blessing with confidence. Faith is the foundation of everything when it comes to trusting God's plan. Too often, people let fear take over their lives, worrying about things they cannot control, stressing over opportunities that haven't come yet, and doubting whether God is really working on their behalf. But here's the truth. God doesn't need you to understand everything. He just needs you to trust Him. When you truly have faith, you stop wasting time worrying about the future because you know that whatever happens, God has already made a way. Faith allows you to walk with confidence, knowing that even when things seem uncertain, God is always in control. The moment you stop letting fear dictate your life and start believing that God is handling things behind the scenes, you will find peace and you will start seeing doors open in ways you never expected. One of the biggest challenges people face is learning that delays are not denials. Sometimes you pray for something, you work hard for something, and you expect it to happen immediately. But instead of an answer, you find yourself waiting. That's when doubt starts creeping in. You begin to wonder if God has forgotten about you, or if your prayers are even being heard. But here's what you need to understand. Just because something isn't happening right now doesn't mean it won't happen at the right time. God's timing is perfect. What seems like a delay to you is actually preparation. He is getting things in place, making sure you are ready for what's coming. If you receive something too soon, before you are prepared, you might not be able to handle it. So instead of getting frustrated in the waiting season, start preparing yourself for what's ahead. Sometimes what we see as rejection is actually God's protection. We get upset when a door closes because we assume it means failure. We start questioning what we did wrong or why things didn't go as planned. But what if I told you that closed doors are a blessing? Not every opportunity is meant for you. Some things look good on the surface, but can lead to struggle, stress, and disappointment. That's why God blocks certain things, because He sees what you can't. Imagine if every door in life opened without question. You might walk into situations that could harm you, take you off course, or delay your true purpose. When you trust that God is protecting you, you stop being frustrated over what didn't work out and start looking forward to what's next. The key to stepping into God's blessings is staying ready. Too often people ask for things but don't prepare for them. If you're praying for an opportunity, are you truly ready to handle it? You don't wait until success comes to start getting ready. You prepare for it in advance. Athletes don't wait until they're in a competition to start training. They train every day so that when their moment arrives, they are already prepared. Life works the same way. If you believe that God has something great in store for you, you need to act like it now. Work on yourself, develop your skills, stay disciplined, and be patient. When the right door opens, you won't have to scramble to prepare. You will already be ready to step into your blessing. Gratitude and patience are essential when trusting God's plan. It's easy to get caught up in wanting more, looking at what you don't have, and feeling frustrated about where you are in life. But one of the most powerful things you can do is learn to be grateful for what you have now, while trusting that better things are coming. God blesses those who appreciate where they are, even when it's not where they want to be. Instead of constantly wishing for the next big thing, take a moment to recognize what God has already done for you. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's present. And when you combine gratitude with patience, you develop the kind of faith that trusts God's timing completely. You stop rushing, stop worrying, and start living with confidence, knowing that the right doors will open exactly when they are supposed to. Faith is the foundation that allows you to walk confidently, knowing that God is in control. Too many people spend their time worrying about things they cannot change, stressing over the future, and wondering if their prayers are being heard. But faith requires you to trust that even when things don't make sense, God is still working. You don't have to see how everything will unfold. You just have to believe that God already has it figured out. The moment you stop allowing fear to dictate your decisions and start trusting in God's plan, you will feel a sense of peace. Worry does not change anything, but faith opens doors. When you truly believe that what is meant for you will come at the right time, you can release the anxiety and step forward with confidence, knowing that God has already made a way. Delays are not denials. It is easy to get discouraged when